मैं अवसर से अनुरोध
विक्रा का
मैं अवसर से अनुरोध मैं अवसर से अनुरोध मैं अवसर से अनुरोध
हो तो आसपास
मैं अवसर से अनुरोध 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 Hamster servo. 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 Hamster servo.
गाइस, टीडीआर और एसटीडीआर इन दोनों का ही यूज काफी ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होता है। अगर आप एसबीआई की इंटरनेट बैंकिंग से अपनी एफडी ओपन कर रहे हैं, बैंक ब्रांच जाएंगे तब तो आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, आपसे कुछ भी नहीं पूछेंगे, लेकिन बैंक ब्रांच में धक्के खाने की बहुत ज्यादा दिक्कत होती है। अगर आप इंटरनेट बैंकिंग का यूज कर रहे हैं तो उसी से ही अपनी एफडी बनाएं तो सबसे बेस्ट है। अगर आप एफडी ऑनलाइन बना रहे हैं तो आपको दो ऑप्शन जरूर देखने को मिलेंगे, जिसमें से आपको एक सिलेक्ट करना जरूरी है। पहला तो होता है टीडीआर और दूसरा होता है एसटीडीआर। तो इन दोनों के अंदर ऐसा क्या अंतर है और इनमें से किसको आपको सिलेक्ट करना चाहिए जिससे आपको फायदा मिले और आपका इंटरेस्ट भी आपको टाइम पे मिलता रहे, तो ये सारी जानकारी मैं आपको इस वीडियो में दूंगा। तो गाइस, ज्यादा समय ना लेते हुए अगर आपने मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो मेरे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दो, साथ ही बेल आइकन को प्रेस कर दो। तो गाइस, चलिए वीडियो को शुरू करते हैं। गाइस, टीडीआर और एसटीडीआर के बारे में बताने से पहले आपको कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट बात जाननी जरूरी है। अगर आप ऑनलाइन या ऑफलाइन कहीं पर भी एफडी खोलते हैं, मतलब फिक्स डिपॉजिट अपना ओपन करवाते हैं, तो वहां पे आपको मिनिमम क्राइटेरिया पता होना चाहिए कि कितनी मिनिमम आप एफडी खुलवा सकते हैं। मिनिमम क्राइटेरिया होता है 1000 रुपए और मैक्सिमम एक एफडी का 10 लाख रुपए होता है। उसके अलावा भी आप दूसरी एफडी खुलवाएंगे वो भी 10 लाख की खुलवा सकते हैं, लेकिन मैक्सिमम एक एफडी का 10 लाख रुपए होता है। ठीक है, ये क्राइटेरिया पता चल गया। और कितने दिन तक की आप एफडी खुलवा सकते हैं ये भी आपको जानना जरूरी है। पहले तो होता है आप 7 दिन, मिनिमम 7 दिन तक की एफडी आप खुलवा सकते हैं, और मैक्सिमम जो होता है एफडी का टाइम पीरियड वो होता है 10 साल का। इसके बीच में आप कभी भी आप एफडी खुलवा सकते हैं, चाहे 7 दिन की हो, चाहे 10 साल की हो, चाहे 5 साल की, चाहे 1 साल की, कभी भी आप एफडी ओपन करवा सकते हैं। ये तो आपने एफडी के बारे में जान लिया। अब अगर आप ऑनलाइन मतलब एसबीआई की इंटरनेट बैंकिंग से एफडी खुलवाते हैं या मोबाइल बैंकिंग से, तो आपको दो ऑप्शन देखने को मिलते होंगे, जिनमें से आपको एक को सिलेक्ट करना जरूरी है, तभी आपकी एफडी बनेगी। पहला ऑप्शन होता है टीडीआर, दूसरा ऑप्शन होता है एसटीडीआर। अब इन दोनों का मतलब ही आपको पता चल जाएगा कि इन दोनों के अंदर क्या अंतर है। तो सबसे पहले टीडीआर के बारे में मैं बता देता हूं। टीडीआर का फुल मीनिंग होता है टर्म डिपॉजिट रिसिप्ट। ये तो आपने पूरा इसका मतलब जान लिया। अब इसका क्या यूज होता है ये बता देता हूं। अगर आप कोई सी भी अपनी एफडी खुलवाते हैं ऑनलाइन, तो उसके अंदर आपको ये अगर आप सिलेक्ट करते हैं टीडीआर, इसको सिलेक्ट करेंगे तो इसके अंदर आपको दो ऑप्शन देखने को मिलेंगे, एक तो मंथली और दूसरा क्वार्टरली। मतलब आप कोई सी भी जब एफडी खुलवाएंगे तो उसका इंटरेस्ट आपको मंथली चाहिए अपने अकाउंट में या क्वार्टरली चाहिए। क्वार्टरली मतलब होता है 3 महीने, हर 3-3 महीने के गैप में आपको इंटरेस्ट चाहिए। ये चीज इसके अंदर आप सिलेक्ट कर सकते हैं। अगर आपको इंटरेस्ट पहले चाहिए, आप नहीं चाहते कि मैच्योरिटी के टाइम पे मेरे को इंटरेस्ट मिले, आप चाहते हैं बीच में ही मेरे को हर महीने इंटरेस्ट मिलता रहे, मेरे खाते में ऐड होता रहे, तो आप टीडीआर सिलेक्ट कर सकते हैं। टीडीआर की भी एक कंडीशन है। वो कंडीशन क्या है? अगर आप 180 दिन या इससे कम का एफडी खुलवाते हैं तो आप टीडीआर का ऑप्शन नहीं सिलेक्ट कर सकते। मतलब आपकी मैच्योरिटी पे ही आपको पूरा इंटरेस्ट मिलेगा। और दूसरा, अब एक और जो दूसरा ऑप्शन आता है वो होता है एसटीडीआर। तो इसका फुल मीन्स होता है स्पेशल टर्म डिपॉजिट रिसिप्ट। ये तो हो गया इसका फुल मीनिंग। अब इसका यूज क्या होता है, अब वो मैं आपको बता देता हूं। इसका यूज ये होता है, अगर आप इसको सिलेक्ट करते हैं और आप अपनी एफडी कभी भी करवा रहे हैं, मतलब आप 2 साल की, 4 साल की या 8 साल की, कभी की भी आप एफडी करवा रहे हैं, तो आपका जो इंटरेस्ट होगा आपको मैच्योरिटी पे ही मिलेगा। जब आपकी एफडी मैच्योर्ड होगी, मान लो आपकी एफडी 5 साल बाद मैच्योर्ड हो रही है, आपके मेन अमाउंट के साथ इंटरेस्ट का अमाउंट ऐड करके आपको एक साथ आपके अकाउंट में मिलेगा। इसके अंदर फायदा यह होता है, आपका जो एफडी का जो इंटरेस्ट मिल रहा है उसके ऊपर भी आपको इंटरेस्ट साथ में मिलता रहेगा। मान लो आपने 5 साल की एफडी कराई है, तो उसमें से जो पहले साल के अंदर आपके अमाउंट पे इंटरेस्ट मिली है, तो उसकी इंटरेस्ट आपके मेन अमाउंट के अंदर ऐड हो रहेगी। उसके ऊपर फिर अगले साल से इंटरेस्ट के ऊपर भी और इंटरेस्ट मिलती रहेगी। ऐसे ही लगातार 5 साल तक आपके इंटरेस्ट पे और इंटरेस्ट मिलती रहती है, जिससे आपको ज्यादा फायदा मिलता है। अगर आप सिलेक्ट करने की सोच रहे हैं तो सबसे बेस्ट एसटीडीआर है, जो आपको इंटरेस्ट के ऊपर भी ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट दे देता है। अगर आप फिर भी चाहते हैं, मतलब आपको फिर भी जरूरत है थोड़े थोड़े पैसों की कि मेरे अकाउंट में आते रहे, तो आप टीडीआर को सिलेक्ट कर सकते हैं। ओके गाइस, आप इनका मतलब सही इनके अंदर बीच में आप अंतर अच्छे से समझ गए होंगे। अगर आपको मेरी यह इन्फॉर्मेशन पसंद आई तो इस वीडियो को करें लाइक, ज्यादा से ज्यादा शेयर करें और मेरा चैनल अभी तक आपने सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया तो मेरे चैनल सब्सक्राइब कर दें। थैंक यू।
मैं अब सर से अनुरोध।
लोगों का अक्सर ये सवाल होता है कि अपना इन्वेस्टमेंट हम म्यूचुअल फंड में डालें, स्टॉक मार्केट में डालें, एफडी में डालें, प्रॉपर्टी में डालें, गोल्ड में डालें, पीपीएफ में डालें, पोस्ट ऑफिस में डालें, किसी को उठा करके दे दें, दान कर दें, किधर करें। तो इसका सिंपल सा फॉर्मूला ये है समझने का, अपने इन्वेस्टमेंट को ना सर दो कैटेगरी में सबसे पहले डिवाइड करो। एक होता है सेफ इन्वेस्टमेंट, एक होता है रिस्क इन्वेस्टमेंट। बताता हूँ आगे। सबसे पहले एक फॉर्मूला होता है 100 माइनस एज, 100 माइनस एज, और जो बच गया वो पैसा रिस्क इन्वेस्टमेंट में जाएगा। मान लीजिए आपकी उम्र 30 साल है, तो 30 साल का मतलब 100 माइनस 30 इक्वल टू 70। तो ये 70 क्या आया, आपका 70% पैसा रिस्क की इन्वेस्टमेंट में जाना चाहिए। क्योंकि हमें पता है जहाँ रिस्क होगा वहाँ रिटर्न ज़्यादा मिलने की प्रोबेबिलिटी है। जैसे स्टॉक मार्केट हो गया, जैसे म्यूचुअल फंड हो गया, जैसे और भी कहीं हो गया। मतलब आपका पैसा रिस्क पर है। रिस्क कितना है नहीं है वो सब तो एनालिसिस का पार्ट है, लेकिन ये है कि आपको रिटर्न ज़्यादा मिलने की प्रोबेबिलिटी है उधर। लेकिन जो बैलेंस 30% बचा 70% का, मतलब 100 माइनस 30, 100 क्या है, 100 एक नंबर है, 100 बेसिकली इसलिए लिया है कि नॉर्मली 100 साल की एज माना गया है। आप इसको कम से भी डिवाइड करके चेक कर सकते हो, 90 से 80 से, तो वहाँ 50-50 आ जाएगा। तो चलो इस फॉर्मूले के अकॉर्डिंग आपका 70% पैसा रिस्क इन्वेस्टमेंट में होना चाहिए, लेकिन 30% पैसा वहाँ होना चाहिए जहाँ रिस्क रत्ती भर भी नहीं है। हाँ, वहाँ रिटर्न थोड़ा कम होगा, लेकिन वहाँ होना चाहिए। अब सवाल उठता है कि अगर मेरे को ज़्यादा रिटर्न मिल सकता है रिस्क इन्वेस्टमेंट में, ठीक है, रिस्क के ऊपर, मैं सेफ इन्वेस्टमेंट में क्यों डालूँ, कम रिटर्न क्यों लूँ? इसका मतलब समझो सर, होता क्या है, कई सारी ज़िंदगी में ऐसे फेजेस होते हैं जहाँ पर आपको एक फिक्स पैसा चाहिए। जैसे थोड़ा हल्के से शुरुआत करता हूँ। हल्के से शुरुआत मतलब हल्के सिचुएशन से। मान लो ऐसा हो सकता है कि आपको 1 साल बाद बाइक लेनी है। 1 साल बाद बाइक लेनी है, आपको 2 लाख रुपए की बाइक लेनी है, और अभी आपके पास 1 लाख रुपए है। तो 1 लाख रुपए में आपकी वाली बाइक तो आएगी नहीं, क्योंकि आपकी बाइक 2 लाख रुपए की है। तो उस 1 लाख रुपए को क्या करोगे, बैंक में रखोगे या स्टॉक मार्केट में डाल दोगे, म्यूचुअल फंड में डाल दोगे? ना 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 ना। तो वहाँ 1 लाख का आपका 10 लाख या 1 लाख का आपका 1,10,000, 1,20,000 बन सकता है। लेकिन चांसेस ये भी हैं कि वो 1,90,000 रह जाए, वो 1,80,000 रह जाए। तो 1 साल बाद के लिए आपने जो 1 लाख रुपए जमा करके रखा है कि 1 साल बाद आपको जरूरत पड़ेगी, वो तो पैसा तो घट गया। तो इसलिए ऐसी जगह डालो उस 1 लाख रुपए को, अगले साल आपको 1 लाख का पूरा 1 लाख मिले या फिर उससे प्लस में मिले। तो अगर ऐसी रिक्वायरमेंट है तो उस 1 लाख रुपए को डाल दो एफडी में। एफडी आपको कितना देगा, 6, 7, 8, 9। हम आज के सेशन में बात करेंगे एफडी से मैक्सिमम रिटर्न हम कैसे लें, और कई बार तो म्यूचुअल फंड के बराबर रिटर्न कैसे लें एफडी से। तो आज के सेशन में हम वही बात करने वाले हैं। बट उससे पहले हमें यह समझना है कि वो पैसा हमें डाल देना चाहिए एफडी में, ठीक है। अब जैसे मान लो आपको आईफोन लेना है, अब 6-7 महीने बाद कोई नया आईफोन का लॉन्च होने वाला है। आईफोन की चुल्ली बहुत लोगों में रहती है ना, नया आएगा लेंगे। तो अभी आपके पास 20, 30, 40 हज़ार जो भी है उसको डाल दो एफडी में। ऐसा कोई भी पैसा जो आपको थोड़े शॉर्ट टर्म बाद, 6 महीने बाद, साल भर बाद, 2 साल बाद ज़रूरत पड़ने वाला है और एक थोड़ा अमाउंट है आपके पास, उसको डालना चाहिए आपको एफडी में। कभी भी रिस्क की जगह पर नहीं डालना चाहिए। चलो एक तो हल्का वाला एग्जाम्पल हो गया, थोड़ा भारी भरकम एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं, जो कि आजकल के यूथ उसके बारे में सोचते ही नहीं है। मैं कई बार एग्जाम्पल ले चुका हूँ, ज़िंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा फिल्म, ये जवानी है दीवानी जैसी फिल्में, जिसमें डायलॉग होता है कि ज़िंदगी सिर्फ आज में है, जितना पैसा है आज उड़ा डालो, कल किसने देखा है, लोन लेकर के इटली चले जाओ, पेरिस चले जाओ, कल का कोई भरोसा नहीं है। ज़िंदगी आज में तो है, लेकिन ज़िंदगी कल में भी है। कल ऐसा तो नहीं है मर जाओगे हैं, और अगर मान के बैठे हो कि ज़िंदगी का भरोसा नहीं, कल मर जाएंगे, बच गए तो कैसे जियोगे, पैसा कहाँ से आएगा, सोचना पड़ेगा ना उसका। तो ज़िंदगी के उतार चढ़ाव का कभी कोई भरोसा नहीं है, क्योंकि मैं खुद ऐसी सिचुएशन से गुजर चुका हूँ जब मेरे घर के बाहर मर्सिडीज़ खड़ी है, ब्लैक कलर की चमचमाती, कुछ ही महीनों पहले ली हुई मर्सिडीज़ खड़ी है, लेकिन घर की हालत ये है कि अगले महीने का घर का खर्चा कैसे चलेगा पता नहीं। 60 लाख की मर्सिडीज बाहर खड़ी है घर की पार्किंग में, लेकिन अगले महीने का घर का खर्चा कैसे चलेगा ये पता नहीं। ऐसी सिचुएशन में देख चुका हूँ। तो मेरे को समझ में आता है कि अब जब आपका बुरा समय आता है, जो कि बिन बुलाए आता है, मुसीबतें, बुरा समय, ये सब बिन बुलाए आती है सर। कभी आपको बता करके नहीं आएगी कि अगले महीने मुसीबत आने वाली है, अगले महीने बुरा समय आने वाला है। तो ऐसे समय स्टॉक मार्केट और प्रॉपर्टी जैसी चीज़ें साथ नहीं देती। प्रॉपर्टी का तो खैर एक अलग खेल है, बेचने जाओगे तो भैया इमीडिएटली बिकेगा नहीं। 3 महीने बाद, 6 महीने बाद पता चला आपकी प्रॉपर्टी बिक रही है, तब तक तो पैसे की जरूरत है ना। और स्टॉक मार्केट में गए तो क्या पता स्टॉक मार्केट उस वक्त डाउन है, आपका म्यूचुअल फंड पोर्टफोलियो डाउन है, क्या करोगे फिर? दुनिया का एक ही ऐसा इन्वेस्टमेंट है जो उस वक्त साथ देता है पूरी दुनिया में। इससे अच्छा इन्वेस्टमेंट, इससे सेफ इन्वेस्टमेंट ऐसे सिचुएशन के लिए है ही नहीं। इसका कोई रिप्लेसमेंट है ही नहीं पूरी दुनिया में। वो इन्वेस्टमेंट है फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट, एफडी। आज हम एफडी के बारे में सब कुछ बड़ा डिटेल में बात करने वाले हैं। कैसी एफडी होती है, कैसी करनी चाहिए, कैसे नहीं करनी चाहिए, कहाँ से करनी चाहिए, कितना मिलेगा और अपने रिटर्न को मैक्सिमाइज कैसे करें, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा हम कैसे लें, वो सब कुछ। ठीक है, आगे बढ़ो भैया। अच्छा, और हम साथ में ये भी बात करने वाले हैं कि नॉर्मल एफडी और बैंक एफडी। नॉर्मल एफडी अगर आप करते हो 5 लाख रुपए 5 साल के लिए, तो आपका रिटर्न बनता है लगभग 7,07,379 रुपए। लेकिन स्टेबल मनी एफडी अगर आप करते हो तो 5 लाख 5 साल के लिए लगभग बनेगा 7,80,000 रुपए, तकरीबन 70,000 रुपए का डिफरेंस अगर आप स्टेबल मनी के जरिए करते हो। स्टेबल मनी क्या है? हमारे आज के वीडियो के पार्टनर हैं स्टेबल मनी, जहां पर आप 200 से ज़्यादा बैंकों का इंटरेस्ट रेट कैलकुलेट कर सकते हो और महज 3 मिनट के अंदर आप अपनी एफडी बिना उस बैंक में अपना बैंक अकाउंट खुलवाए हुए बुक कर सकते हो। इसके बारे में डिटेल में हम अभी आगे बात करेंगे। कहाँ गया? आगे बढ़ जाओ भैया। हाँ, अच्छा, हम ये सब पॉइंटर्स आज कवर करने वाले हैं। रेलेवेंस ऑफ एफडी क्या है, एक्चुअल में ज़रूरत क्या है, हाउ मच इज माई एफडी, मतलब मेरा एफडी कितना है, चलो वो भी आज के सेशन में बताता हूँ। बैड टाइम फंड और इमरजेंसी फंड, ये क्या होता है, इसमें एफडी कैसे हेल्प करता है। हाउ टू गेट हाईएस्ट रिटर्न ऑन एफडी मोर देन नॉर्मल वेज, नॉर्मली जो हम एफडी करते हैं जहाँ भी जिस भी बैंक में, उससे ज़्यादा रिटर्न हम कैसे ले सकते हैं, वो आज हम बात करेंगे। टाइप ऑफ एफडी, ये तो बहुत बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। लोगों को पता ही नहीं कितने टाइप के एफडी होते हैं। ज़्यादातर लोगों को तो आज भी ये नहीं पता है कि एफडी के क्या फ़ायदे हैं। एफडी में सिंपल इंटरेस्ट मिलता है या कंपाउंडिंग इंटरेस्ट मिलता है, किस तरह के एफडी में सिंपल मिलता है, किस तरह के एफडी में कंपाउंडिंग मिलता है, कहाँ पर आपको ज़्यादा ब्याज मिल सकता है। सेम तरह का एफडी है, सेम बैंक है और सब कुछ सेम है, लेकिन उसी में कुछ टाइप चूज़ करने से आपका रिटर्न ज़्यादा मिल जाता है और कुछ ना चूज़ करने से रिटर्न कम मिल जाता है। वो सब बताऊँगा अभी। बड़े बैंक में एफडी करें या छोटे बैंक में एफडी करें या फिर अपने बैंक में एफडी करें, या अपना बैंक क्या है वो भी बताऊँगा। मैक्सिमाइज रिटर्न यूजिंग एफडी लैडरिंग। एफडी लैडरिंग का एक कॉन्सेप्ट होता है जिसकी वजह से आप अपने एफडी के रिटर्न को और बढ़ा सकते हो। अच्छा, सबसे पहले एफडी होता क्या है? मेरी आवाज़ क्लियर है ना? आवाज़ क्लियर है? ठीक है। एफडी होता क्या है सर? एफडी का मतलब होता है फिक्स्ड डिपॉजिट, एक ऐसा डिपॉजिट जो कि फिक्स कर दिया आपने। आपका से 1 लाख रुपए है, 50,000 रुपए है, 10,000 रुपए है, 5,000 रुपए है, आपने कहीं डाला और डालते वक्त ही आपको रिटर्न रेट बता दिया गया, 7%, 8%, 9%, कितना भी। और चाहे भूकंप आ जाए, भूचाल आ जाए, इकोनॉमी बर्बाद हो जाए, आपका अगर आपको कमेंट किया गया है 7.2 या 8.2 या 9.2, जो आज हम बात करेंगे मैक्सिमम कैसे लें, तो वो 9.2 अगर कमिट किया गया है तो 9.1 नहीं होगा कभी भी, किसी भी सिचुएशन में। चाहे भूकंप आए, भूचाल आए, बर्बाद हो जाए, कुछ भी का मतलब कुछ भी आ जाए, ये गारंटी आपको रिस्की इन्वेस्टमेंट वाले जितने भी जगह होते हैं, जैसे स्टॉक मार्केट सबसे पॉपुलर, सबसे फेमस, जिसके बारे में बहुत बात करते हैं, कभी नहीं हो सकता। ठीक है, तो फिक्स डिपॉजिट का फ़ायदा ये है कि आपको पता है अगर आपने 5 साल बाद किया, 5 साल तक किया, तो 5 साल बाद एग्जैक्टली कितना रुपया मिलने वाला है। 2 साल के लिए किया तो 2 साल बाद एग्जैक्टली कितना रुपया मिलने वाला है, आपको ये पता है। उसमें 1 रुपए की भी हेरा फेरी कम ज़्यादा नहीं हो सकता, ना कम हो सकता है ना ज़्यादा हो सकता है। ठीक है, तो ये है एफडी। और एफडी पर हम हिंदुस्तानियों का भरोसा सबसे ज़्यादा शुरुआत से रहा है, क्योंकि हम ज़्यादा रिटर्न पाने से ज़्यादा इस बात की अपेक्षा रखते हैं कि जो हमारा पैसा जहाँ लग रहा है, जहाँ इन्वेस्ट हो रहा है, वो सेफ होना चाहिए। वो अगर बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं बढ़ रहा है तो घटना तो बिल्कुल नहीं चाहिए। तो इसलिए भी एफडी इंडिया में सबसे ज़्यादा पॉपुलर इंस्ट्रूमेंट है। एफडी कब करवानी चाहिए? एक बात समझिएगा, मैंने यहाँ लिखा है लोगों के पास जब पैसा होता है तब इन्वेस्ट करते हैं, और मैंने लिखा रॉन्ग। इन्वेस्टमेंट कब करनी चाहिए? जब पैसा हो, नहीं ना, तब इन्वेस्ट नहीं करना चाहिए जब पैसा हो। दरअसल जब इन्वेस्टमेंट का मौका हो तब इन्वेस्टमेंट करना चाहिए, और जब तक इन्वेस्टमेंट का मौका नहीं बन रहा तब तक अपने पैसे को अपने ही पास रखो। अच्छा, अपने ही पास रखो मतलब समझाता हूँ एग्जांपल से। मान लो आप स्टॉक मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करने का प्लान कर रहे हो, और स्टॉक मार्केट अभी देख रहे हो कि बहुत बढ़िया ऑलरेडी पीक पर चल रहा है, तो ये समय तो है नहीं डालने का, आप गिरने का वेट करोगे। अब गिरने का वेट करोगे, आपको पता नहीं कब गिरेगा, 3 महीने ले, 6 महीने ले, साल ले, पता नहीं, तो क्या करोगे? उस पैसे को बैंक में रखोगे। अगर सेविंग में रखोगे तो सेविंग में मिलेगा 3%, इन्फ्लेशन ही चल रहा है 6%, 7%, तो आपके पैसे को तो जंग लग रहा है, आपका पैसा दिन ब दिन घट रहा है। अगर सेविंग अकाउंट में है तो उधर तो रखने का ही नहीं। क्या करें फिर? ऐसी जगह पे रखें जहां मेरा पैसा सेफ हो, और अगर 3 महीने बाद, 3 महीने 15 दिन बाद मेरे को पैसा चाहिए तो मेरा पैसा बढ़ा हुआ मुझे मिले, या उतना तो कम से कम मिले। एफडी के अलावा कोई रिप्लेसमेंट ही नहीं है इसका। एफडी इज द ओनली इंस्ट्रूमेंट। ठीक है, आपको पता चले 2 साल बाद कोई जमीन खरीदनी है, जमीन का तलाश चल रहा है, जमीन लेना है भैया, पैसा लेके बैठे हैं पास में, कहाँ रखोगे पैसे को? स्टॉक मार्केट में नहीं रख सकते, क्योंकि 3 महीने बाद अगर जरूरत पड़ी तो गिरा हुआ मिले तो। एफडी इज द ओनली वे, सिर्फ वहीं रख सकते हो और कहीं नहीं रख सकते। ठीक है, तो इन्वेस्टमेंट कब करनी चाहिए? लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टमेंट जब आपके पास मौका हो, और जब तक मौका नहीं बन रहा उस पैसे को कहाँ रखोगे? एफडी। ठीक है, तो एफडी इसलिए करनी चाहिए भैया। और इमरजेंसी फंड की भी जो बात कर रहा था मैं, उससे पहले एक और चीज समझिए। चलो आगे बताता हूं, पहले ये चीज समझा देता हूं। टाइप ऑफ एफडी। एक एफडी होता है इंटरेस्ट क्रेडिट एफडी। क्या होता है? जब आप चुनते हो ना तो उसमें ऐसे ही टर्मिनोलॉजी देखो अलग अलग हो सकती है। किसी में लिखागा इंटरेस्ट क्रेडिट एफडी, किसी में लिखेगा सिंपल एफडी, किसी में कुछ और लिख देगा, बट मिलता जुलता टर्म होगा। सिंपल इंटरेस्ट क्रेडिट एफडी क्या होता है? मान लो आपने 1 लाख रुपए की एफडी करी। मान लो आपने कितने की करी? 1 लाख रुपए की एफडी करी, और 1 साल बाद मान लेते हैं हम 9% रिटर्न मिलने वाला था, तो 1,09,000 रुपए अगले साल आपको मिलने वाला था। अब अगले साल वो जो 9% है, वो जो 9,000 रुपए एक्स्ट्रा बना आपका, इस पर 9,000 रुपए जो एक्स्ट्रा बना आपका, वो 9,000 रुपए खट से निकल करके आपके बैंक अकाउंट में आ जाए, आपके सेविंग अकाउंट में, और 1 लाख वहीं का वहीं पड़ा रहे, दोबारा एफडी में पड़ा रहे। अगले साल फिर से 9,000 रुपये और बढ़ जाएगा, वो जो अगले साल फिर से नया 9,000 आया वो निकल के आपके बैंक अकाउंट में, और 1 लाख वहीं पड़ा रहे। फिर तीसरे साल फिर 9,000 एक्स्ट्रा बना, वो 9,000 निकल के आपके बैंक में आ जाए और 1 लाख वहीं एफडी में पड़ा रहे। इससे हो क्या रहा है? इसको बोलते हैं सिंपल इंटरेस्ट, जो सबसे खराब इंटरेस्ट है। ऐसी इन्वेस्टमेंट नहीं करनी चाहिए, ऐसी एफडी आपको नहीं करनी चाहिए, अवॉइड करना चाहिए ऐसी एफडी। क्यों? क्योंकि होता क्या है सर, ये 9,000 रुपये जब निकल के आपके बैंक में आ जा रहा है, इस 9,000 रुपये को कंपाउंड होने का मौका ही नहीं मिला। सिंपल इंटरेस्ट और कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट का मतलब हमने कई बार बात करा है ना। कंपाउंड इंटरेस्ट क्या होता है? आपका 1 लाख और आपका 1 लाख अगले साल 1,09,000 बना। अगर ये 9,000 रुपये डिपॉजिट ही है, जमा किया हुआ एफडी में ही है, तो जो दूसरे साल इंटरेस्ट मिलेगा वो 1,09,000 पर 9% बनेगा। फिर जो तीसरे साल इंटरेस्ट बनेगा वो 1,09,000 के कंबाइनेशन से जितना पैसा बना उस पर इंटरेस्ट बनेगा। और ये कंपाउंडिंग लंबे समय में इतना बड़ा बन के निकलता है कि आपको उसका अंदाज़ा लगा ही नहीं सकते आप। तो इसीलिए कभी भी ये वाला काम मत कीजिए कि आपका जो इंटरेस्ट वाला पार्ट बन रहा है उसको बैंक में ले लीजिए। इसको कच्चा लालच बोलते हैं, और कच्चा लालची आदमी कभी बड़ा पैसा नहीं बना सकता कि हर 6 महीने में या हर साल में मेरे को वो इंटरेस्ट पार्ट मेरे बैंक में मिल जाए। ऐसा नहीं करना, बड़ा पैसा नहीं बन सकता कभी भी। कंपाउंडिंग जब तक नहीं है बड़ा पैसा कभी बन ही नहीं सकता। सिंपल इंटरेस्ट वाला एफडी नहीं लेना, मत करना। ये ऑप्शन मिलता है आपको एफडी करते वक्त, लेकिन ये नहीं करना बिल्कुल भी। इंटरेस्ट री इन्वेस्ट एफडी, ये क्या होता है? जो सर मैंने भी बताया कि 9,000 रुपये अगले साल जब बना वो 9,000 रुपये वापस से री इन्वेस्ट हो जाए, इसके साथ यही वाला करना है। कंपाउंडिंग एफडी इसको कहते हैं, और हमारे को यही वाला करना है। इसके अलावा और क्या क्या होता है? इंटरेस्ट, उसके बाद कंपाउंडिंग एफडी। अच्छा, जैसा कंपाउंडिंग एफडी यही होता है, री इन्वेस्ट, जब आपका इंटरेस्ट री इन्वेस्ट हो रहा होता है तो वही कंपाउंडिंग एफडी बनता है। क्वार्टरली कंपाउंडिंग और एनुअली कंपाउंडिंग। या कंपाउंडिंग भी दो तरीके से होता है। आपका पैसा हर क्वार्टर में भी कंपाउंड हो सकता है, हर साल भी कंपाउंड हो सकता है। हर क्वार्टर मतलब हर 3-4 महीने पर, 3 महीने पर। तो कौन सा वाला करना चाहिए, कौन सा वाला करना चाहिए, आपको क्या लगता है? हर क्वार्टर में अगर पैसा कंपाउंड हो और हर साल कंपाउंड हो, कौन सा वाला करना चाहिए? क्वार्टर वाला। मतलब मेरा एफडी अगर मैं 4 महीने के लिए कर रहा हूं और 4 महीने में ही मेरे को इंटरेस्ट मिला और वो कंपाउंड हो जाए, वो ज़्यादा बेटर है। लेकिन एक दिक्कत है, जब आप शॉर्ट टर्म के लिए एफडी करते हो तो शॉर्ट टर्म के एफडी में कम रिटर्न मिलता है। फिर कौन सा वाला करना चाहिए? हाँ, एनुअली वाला। तो वहाँ कंपाउंडिंग भी एनुअली होगा। फिर क्या कर सकते हैं?
क्वार्टर पे जो इंटरेस्ट मिलेगा वो एनुअली से कितना है वो देखना पड़ेगा।
आप जब एफडी करते हो, सोल्यूशन बताता हूँ, आप जब एफडी करते हो, चाहे शॉर्ट टर्म करो लॉन्ग टर्म करो, वहाँ उसी में एक ऑप्शन होता है कि आपको जो इंटरेस्ट चाहिए वो क्वार्टरली चाहिए, एनुअली चाहिए, तो आप ऑप्शन चुन सकते हो। ठीक है, ये सब चीज़ें जनरली लोगों को नहीं पता होती। पता थी आप लोग को? क्वार्टरली कंपाउंडिंग, एनुअली कंपाउंडिंग, सिंपल कंपाउंडिंग, लॉन्ग टर्म एफडी, शॉर्ट टर्म एफडी। लॉन्ग टर्म एफडी मतलब 1 साल से ज़्यादा, और अगर वो लॉन्ग टर्म एफडी 5 साल का बन जाता है तो टैक्स सेविंग एफडी बन जाता है। आपको उस पर टैक्स रिबेट भी मिलने लग जाता है उस एफडी पर। जनरली एफडी एक ऐसा इंस्ट्रूमेंट है जिस पे आपको टैक्स रिबेट नहीं मिलता, लेकिन अगर 5 साल के लिए लगातार आप इन्वेस्टेड हो एफडी में तो टैक्स रिबेट भी मिलता है। कितना मिलता है? एटीसी के तहत अप टू 1.5 लाख रुपया। ठीक है, तो ये टाइप ऑफ एफडी हो गया। मैक्सिमाइजिंग रिटर्न यूजिंग एफडी लैडर। एफडी लैडर क्या होता है भैया? एफडी लैडर समझो कि क्या होता है। मान लो आपको 5 लाख रुपए की एफडी करनी है, तो आप क्या करोगे? कोई बैंक चुनोगे, इंटरेस्ट रेट देखोगे और उसमें जाकर के इन्वेस्ट कर दोगे? नहीं करना है, गलत तरीका है। आप एक काम करो, 5 लाख की एफडी के लिए 1-1 लाख की 5 एफडी बनाओ। 1-1 लाख की 5 एफडी बनाओ, 5 एफडी। और पहला एफडी जो बनाओ उसको रखो 5 साल के लिए, उसका ड्यूरेशन 5 साल के लिए। जो अगला एफडी 1 लाख का बनाओ उसका ड्यूरेशन रखो 4 ही साल के लिए। तीसरा एफडी बनाओ उसका 3 ही साल के लिए।
मैं अफसर से अनुरोध मैं अफसर से अनुरोध मैं अफसर से अनुरोध मैं अफसर से अनुरोध मैं अफसर से अनुरोध
Today, everyone wants to use AI tools. After all, they let you do stuff like this or speak English. And
Excuse me, man. Quick question for you, man. Is this your Lamborghini?
Yeah.
And what do you do for a living out in Las Vegas to be able to afford a Lamborghini?
I have an Airbnb business.
How long have you been a business owner for?
About 3 years.
Over these last 3 years, what's been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
Tens of millions of dollars.
$7 million.
5.4 million.
Are you a buyer or a seller?
I'm a seller.
Yeah.
I'm a seller. That's just in my nature. That's why I became an entrepreneur.
How old are you now?
39.
How old were you when you became a millionaire?
Man, I made my first million when I was 21.
20.
20 years old.
Yeah.
You became a millionaire at 20.
Yeah.
29.
You come from money?
No. My dad left my sister and I with my mom when I was 1 and she was 3 years old. I'm a high school dropout and I didn't go to college. But what I always say,
The world becomes a better place when a man plants seeds for the future generations for shade that he will never enjoy.
You made your first $1 million at 21. How can somebody own a Lamborghini in today's world? $45 billion. That's the amount of money that was spent in Las Vegas this past year. And since we're in the city full of money, I'm gonna be going all over to find multimillionaires to ask them how they became wealthy and how you can start your path to becoming financially free in 2024. So with that being said, let's get this video on the way. All right, you guys, we were at one of the most expensive hotels in all of Las Vegas. This is the Fontainebleau. My guy just pulled up to the valet in a Lamborghini Urus. I'm gonna go up and see what he was able to do to be able to afford this car out in Las Vegas. Let's go see what he has to say. Excuse me, man. Quick question for you, man. Is this your Lamborghini?
Yeah.
And what do you do for a living out in Las Vegas to be able to afford a Lamborghini?
I trade full time and I'm an entrepreneur.
How long have you been a business owner for?
For about 4 years now.
Over these 4 years, what's been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
1.5 million.
1.5 million.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
24. I just turned 24 last month.
24.
Yeah.
And how old were you when you became a millionaire?
Man, I made my first million when I was 21.
How did that happen? How did you make your first million at 21 years old?
A lot of it came through trading. Now, I will say during that time in the market, it was really easy to make money.
Yeah.
The Fed's pumping the market, COVID, all that stuff. But I would say at the end of the day, I wasn't 7 figures until I did delegate, right? You can't do it all yourself. It is literally impossible. I am not the best at everything my business requires. So you have to find pieces outside of the business, outside of yourself, that can help you do the things that you want to accomplish within the business. And that comes with building a good team. And in order to build a good team, you have to, number one, treat people very well, pay people very well. And you also have to have opportunities of growth within the company with the people that you're looking to have in your company and help you grow.
Now, you made your first $1 million at 21, but at any point in time, have you ever been broke before?
Oh, yeah. I was raised by a single mother. Now, she's very successful herself, but she never gave me anything. So everything I have is she made me earn it, which was, number one, the hands down the reason I am the way I am today, because, you just got to figure it out. And for me, it was, I'm not asking my mom for any money, so I was doing Uber Eats and Instacart before all this. So, yeah, I've been there before.
Among yourself and the most highly successful people that you study and know, what is that one trait that they all have in common?
This may be an uncommon one, but a lot of successful people that I see are married. I got married really young. I was 20 years old when I got married. When you're married and you're not focused on everything outside, you're so focused. So I always tell Shantae, that's my wife, I always told her, I said, you were a business decision. I loved you, don't get me wrong, but you were business too, because I was like, I know myself, but if I'm focused and I'm not worried about anything else, I'm good.
That's a bigger, bro. I've never heard that before. What's been the best financial advice that you've received throughout your career?
I would say, number one, God has to be the foundation of everything, right? If you want to build something, you got to have God. I am today, because you just got to figure it out. And for me, it was, I'm not asking my mom for any money, so I was doing Uber Eats and Instacart before all this. So yeah, I've been there before.
Among yourself and the most highly successful people that you study and know, what is that one trait that they all have in common?
This may be an uncommon one, but a lot of successful people that I see are married. I got married really young. I was 20 years old when I got married. When you're married and you're not focused on everything outside, you're so focused. So I always tell Shantae, that's my wife, I always told her, I said, you were a business decision. I loved you, don't get me wrong, but you were business too, because I was like, I know myself, but if I'm focused and I'm not worried about anything else, I'm good.
That's a bigger, bro. I've never heard that before. What's been the best financial advice that you've received throughout your career?
I would say, number one, God has to be the foundation of everything, right? If you want to build something, you got to have God at the center of it. And number two is, you can't be upset at the things that come with asking God for stuff. For me, I asked God, hey, I want a 7-figure business, and he threw a bunch of lessons at me that I had to learn in order to get a 7-figure business, versus it just falling into my lap. And that was something I had a conversation with a pastor, actually. He told me, say, hey man, God has to be the center. And I felt at that certain time in my life, I was kind of veering away, and God always has a way of bringing you back, right? So my version of that was, business started shaky.
Are you planning to study in Ireland and are also looking for a good starting salary and a good return of investment after finishing?
Team started kind of splitting up, things weren't in order. But then, I opened the Bible, Ephesians 3:20, lean not on your own understanding. And then from there, man, I've been rock solid.
How can somebody get a Lamborghini in today's world?
The people that I've noticed in my life growing up who always talked about what they were going to do were always the people that never got anything done. For me, I'm impulsive. Right? Impulsive activity can be a good thing and a bad thing sometimes. And I've been on both ends before, but I would say because I'm impulsive, I don't wait on anything. I say, hey, I have an idea, let's execute, let's figure it out on the way, versus trying to have everything complete right now and then saying, then let's go, right? I'm not gonna spend 2 weeks on a logo. Like, no, here's the name, here's the business, let's go. We'll figure all that, later. Yeah, you gotta take action. You don't take action, nothing gets done. And the sooner you take action, the sooner you'll figure out what needs to be fixed.
You got amazing advice, man. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you, man. So we were at the Fontainebleau in Vegas, and I pulled up to my guy in the Lamborghini years. It turns out that he became a millionaire in his early 20s. But what I noticed about him and the most successful people in the entire world is that they have a faith and belief of God bigger than anything else. They know that at the end of the day, without God, nothing is possible, and that's why he became so successful and a millionaire at such a young age. Great interview, man. Let's go get this next one. Question for you, man. Have you ever been broke before?
Yeah, hell yeah. Definitely been broke before.
What do you do for a living?
Manufacturing. Specializing in medical supplies and military grade paint. We're actually the largest minority supplier in Western New York.
How old are you now?
I'm 45.
And if you were to go back in time and have a conversation with your 20-year-old self when you were starting from zero, what's the best advice that you would give to your younger self?
The best advice I heard was the world becomes a better place when a man plants seeds for the future generations for shade that he will never enjoy.
Break that down.
It's not about you. You don't hustle for you. What's your name?
James.
James. What's your last name?
Dumoulin.
You don't hustle for James. You hustle for Dumoulin. You hustle for the name on the back of your jersey. You hustle for your family. So it may not just be something that you're going to benefit from. You may be paving the way for your kids, your grandkids, and that's okay. The game is the long game. So as long as you're putting your people in position to be successful, that's where you win right there.
What has been the most amount of money that you ever made in a single year?
$5.4 million.
$5.4 million. Are you a buyer or a seller?
I'm a seller.
Yeah?
I'm a seller. That's just in my nature. That's why I became an entrepreneur.
What do you think is more important, mindset or skill set?
Mindset.
Why?
Because you can open up a mindset to a different skill set. Most people with skill sets, they're set in their ways. People with an open mindset, doesn't matter what arena you put them in. They want to excel. Doesn't matter where you put me in the mailroom. I guarantee you within a certain period of time, I won't stay here. That's the best mindset to have. It's just, that there's always more to do.
And I see the cross sign. How important has faith been for you throughout your life?
That allows me to sleep at night. It provides my moral compass. Knowing that there's something bigger than you. That's the ego killer. It's bigger than you. There's more. There's something out here bigger than you.
You got amazing advice, sir.
I appreciate you, man. James?
What's your name?
My name is James, too.
James
Johnson.
Name of Kings.
That's right.
So we were on the way to our next resort, and I caught my guy sitting out on the Vegas Strip. I had to go and ask him for some game. His business did $5 million this last year, but I love the advice that he gave on legacy. You cannot be in this for you, but rather the name on your back, because that is here for generations and generations to come. Great interview, man. Let's go get this next one. Excuse me, sir. Quick question for you, man. Is this your Lamborghini?
Why do you ask?
I go all over the country just asking people some questions on advice to the younger generation of kids coming out of school. Thought you had a beautiful car. I wanted to know if we could ask you a few questions for the channel.
Hit me. What do you got?
What do you do for a living to be able to put a Lamborghini out here in Las Vegas?
I do real estate out here in Las Vegas.
How long have you been in real estate for?
I've been in real estate for almost 20 years now.
What's been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
Tens of millions of dollars in revenue, and net profit, I'll keep that to myself.
Do you come from money?
No. My dad left my sister and I with my mom when I was 1 and she was 3 years old. I'm a high school dropout and I didn't go to college. But what I always say, and I think it's important to say this because I think it's important for people to recognize it when it's within their reach. I didn't come from money, but I came from resources. But we all come from resources. It's just, are we conscious of them? So did I have somebody that I could go, hey, can you help me get better? And that person would respond and say yes. But it starts with the balls and the humility to look at that person and say, will you help me? That's what it starts with. So did I have a lack of resources where people were willing to help me? No. But do I give them all the credit? Fuck no. I get the credit because I had the balls to ask them.
We don't lack resources, we just lack resourcefulness.
Yes, there you go. That's a beautiful saying.
Let me ask you this,
and I don't even know if coming from money is of benefit. Those poor guys get stripped of the beautiful experience of generating money. Think how sad that is. Think if you woke up, Andrew Tate said this one time, he really articulated it right. I understood the mindset, but he articulated it correctly. Could you imagine being a sheik where money is irrelevant? You could have anything on the planet. You could buy any of these hotels. Like, what a horrible feeling that you don't get that amazing dopamine rush of working hard for something, seeing the results, and then being able to go out and spoil yourself. Those guys got stripped of that on the day they were born. There's value in not coming from money.
as a multiple 8-figure entrepreneur, what's been the best financial advice that you've received throughout your career?
You can't save your way to being rich. You can't save your way to being rich. A lot of people will say to themselves, how can I afford that thing? And they bust out all their bills and they go, mortgage, car payment, cell phone bill, entertainment for food, gas, bullshit, and they see if they can afford it. That's not your problem. You need to make more money.
I love that. And how can someone make their money work for them in today's world?
I'm a big believer in buying cash flowing assets. I have been able to live a really abundant life with dumb shit and toys like this by buying assets that produce cash flow. And the asset that I like to buy is rental properties.
Majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. What keeps people broke in today's world?
Politics keeps people broke. Football keeps people broke. All the distraction keeps people broke. Alcohol keeps people broke. Think about that. Every Sunday there's 75,000 fans times however many football games going on at a time. They love it. On Monday they wake up, they could barely make it to work. Those people, all that ambition has been washed away because they've all boozed the day before. Why do you think football's on a Sunday? If they wanted America to go back to work with life and ambition and drive, they'd put football on Saturday because then they'd have Sunday to recover so they could go to work feeling great. So all that distraction, in my opinion, it's all designed to numb out society, numb out ambition, and just keep people being content waking up and going to work from 9 to 5, from 9 to 5. Think about this. When you put some guy in the wilderness with no distractions and no alcohol, no nonsense, and no resources, you come back 6 months later, the fucking guy's built a fort, he's got fucking games, he's got a way to fish, he's got a way to get clean water. That's the true, authentic being of a human. We are creators by default, but with no distraction.
What did you have to sacrifice to be able to build all this, man?
I sacrificed my health, I sacrificed my friend groups, I sacrificed my family, I sacrificed my sanity, I sacrificed every single part of my life. I sacrificed. But I look back now and I'm grateful that I did, and I wouldn't change anything about it.
You got amazing advice. Thank you so much for your time, and I appreciate you, sir. So we caught my guy in the Lamborghini at the Las Vegas Convention Center, and he went from being broke to generating tens of millions of dollars in the real estate business. But my favorite advice from that entire interview was when he said, you cannot save your way to wealth. Scared money don't make money, so we got to do everything we can to make our money work for ourselves. But with that being said, let's go get this next interview. Excuse me, ma'am, quick question for you. Is this your G-Wagon?
It is.
And what do you do for living out in Las Vegas to be able to afford a G-Wagon?
I have an Airbnb business.
You have an Airbnb business. And how long have you been a business owner for?
About 3 years.
3 years. And over these last 3 years, what's been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
This last year for my businesses, we generated almost $7 million.
$7 million. Have you ever been broke before?
I have, yes.
You have.
I definitely have. When I used to be a nanny, COVID hit, and so all my jobs are like, oh, we don't really need you anymore. But at the time, like, I had bills to pay, I had all of these expenses, and I was down like my last $20 bill. But, you just have to figure it out. You have to go from there, yeah.
And what was that turning point like for you? Like, how did you know you wanted to get really serious about becoming financially free?
For me, I just didn't want to depend on other people, and I liked nannying, but it was still such a time for money exchange. So it was like, as much as I nanny, I can only work, this many hours in a day, and so at most I'll only be able to make this amount of money. And for me, I just didn't like that. I wanted to make more money, I wanted to travel, and I didn't want other things to be able to dictate, like someone telling me, oh, sorry, we don't need you anymore. Like, for me, that was, it hurt a little bit, but I just realized if I can work for myself and allow my money to make money for me, then I'll probably see more success.
I love it. Now, for somebody who may be broke right now, for somebody at rock bottom, what is an actionable step that they can take to get really serious about becoming successful and financially free like yourself?
I think a lot of people also think that they need a ton of cash to start businesses, but like even for me, before I started Airbnb, I didn't know that business credit was a thing. And so I would say if someone is broke right now and they have no money, if they have a job, maybe use that source of income to find something that will make you money, or even look into business credit and use business credit to start a business that will pay you. That way you can start having money come in without exchanging your time for it.
How old are you now?
21.
How old were you when you became a millionaire?
20.
20 years old.
Yeah.
You became a millionaire at 20.
Yeah.
How did that happen? Seriously, that's incredible.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was actually unreal. Still like today, I don't know if I fully processed it, but really quickly we saw success with the Airbnb business. Like I said, we went from making like $3,000 a month to $60,000 a month, hitting six figures, within the first few months. And then like our first calendar year, we almost made $400,000 that year. And so we found success with Airbnb very quickly. And when we saw that it was successful for us, it was just like, it's a numbers game. The more we scale, the more money we'll make. And then from there, when we started teaching others, just really quickly, I don't know, it just expanded and the business grew.
Now, why was Airbnb your vehicle?
Honestly, I tried pretty much everything, like everything you see on Facebook and TikTok. I tried it all, and Airbnb is what worked for me first, so I just went with it.
How can somebody start creating wealth through Airbnb?
I would say scale. So if you don't have the means to buy, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to purchase property. You can rent. So start off by renting your first property. If you can purchase, for us, the house that we bought has been amazing. So if you can purchase, definitely go ahead and do that. But You can start off by renting, and then the more that you scale, the more money you'll make as long as you find winning properties. So really it's just, like I said, a numbers game. Just continue scaling, and as much money as you want to make, you truly can make it with Airbnb. You just have to keep getting more properties, and the numbers will just continue to increase.
Right. You have amazing advice. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Las Vegas was insane, you guys. Some of my favorite content that I've ever shot. And we've got lots of amazing videos and content on the way very soon. So be sure to like and subscribe for this content because you do not want to miss out on it. And click the link in the description below because we just launched the Hard Knocks newsletter where we send out weekly updates, insights, and lessons from the world's top entrepreneurs and business owners. So go to the description below, click the link, and subscribe to the Hard Knocks.
502.
Question for you. We'll take care of that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Is this your Ferrari?
Yes, it is.
And what do you do for a living out here in Scottsdale to be able to afford a Ferrari?
I'm an entrepreneur.
How long have you been a business owner for?
3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
And what was the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
So the most amount of money that we have done will be this year. We'll do
about 250 million. About 100 million.
North of 20 million annual reoccurring revenue.
Have you ever been broke before?
Yeah, dude, I was in the military for 22 years, man. Yeah? Of course I was broke.
And what did you do after the military?
I started buying and selling businesses.
What was the most amount of money that you ever made in a single year?
11 mil.
How old are you?
Just turned 60.
You're not 60 years old.
Yeah, 23rd of July, I turned 60.
What's the secret to looking like this at 60 years old, man? That's crazy.
Focus, man. Everything's about focus and discipline.
How can somebody become a multi-millionaire in 2024 like yourself? Hard Knocks family, we just got to our destination at Fashion Square in Scottsdale, Arizona. One of the richest cities in the entire country. And I'm gonna be going all over to find multi-millionaires, up to people who built billion-dollar companies, to figure out how they became wealthy and the secret to becoming financially free in 2024. So with that being said, let's go get these interviews. Question for you. Yeah. Have you ever been broke before?
No.
And what do you do for a living out here in Scottsdale?
I'm done.
Quick question for you. Yeah. Have you ever been broke before?
Have I ever been what?
Have you ever been broke before?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah? Let me ask you.
Hasn't everybody?
Yeah. What do you do for a living out here in Scottsdale?
I don't. I'm just visiting right now.
What industry
so
did you...
I don't really like social
real quick.
media. So I
have a channel I started at UT Austin. I grew it to 6 million followers.
What?
I started a channel at UT Austin. I grew it to 6 million followers. I interview business.
You're great, man.
Thank you, bro. Excuse me, sir. Question for you, sir. Question for you. Have you ever owned a business before? Yeah, what type of company? All right, you guys, so as you guys can see, since we are in the wealthiest city in all of Arizona, it is very hard to get access to these people to do an interview. These people understand the value of their time, and they are always on the go out here, man. So we're gonna do everything we can to get the best content possible for you guys, so stay tuned because I'm not leaving this video till I deliver you guys $1 million worth of game. Let's go get these interviews, come on. Excuse me, sir. Question for you. How old were you when you became a millionaire?
29.
29?
Yep.
And how old are you now?
48.
And what do you do for a living out here in Scottsdale?
I own a healthcare company and a couple software companies.
And how long have you been an entrepreneur for?
Well, I guess my whole career, 24 years.
And what was the lowest point in your career as an entrepreneur?
Probably like 10 years ago. I gambled on the wrong staff and they burnt me and picked myself back up. And there's nobody you can reinvest into besides yourself.
What was your superpower as a business owner?
I just talk to everybody on a regular basis.
Communication.
Communication, for sure.
So I'm assuming that you're a salesperson then?
No, I'm a retired doctor.
Retired doctor?
Yeah. Wow. Well, I own the company now, but I'm the founder and CEO.
Okay, so I guess in terms of revenue across all these businesses, what has been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
About $100 million.
$100 million?
Yeah.
And what are you selling?
We're in healthcare, so we provide primary care for trauma patients.
Right.
So we do everything. We do all the surgeries, we do scar revisions, we do psych counseling, we do PT, we do chiro, we do just general medical management, everything.
Do you come from money?
Oh, no, not at all. McDonald's was a cool thing as a kid. Okay. Like, that was like a real treat and reward.
How did you change your family's trajectory? Like, what did you see that made you want to get really serious about becoming financially free and really successful in business?
My dad built custom homes as a hobby, and he always pointed out everybody in the neighborhood didn't have a job, they owned something. So I think I took that insight as, well, when I became a doctor, I'm going to own my practice and then kind of expand it from there.
How did you get the money to start your business? Did you have to borrow any money or leverage any capital?
Nope. I'm the only owner, no other banks, no other personal or private equity, nothing. It's just me.
So you built a $100 million company?
Same. Yeah. Well, it's worth maybe $1 billion now, but it's we do well.
What is your net worth?
It's somewhere between 5 and 700 million, and maybe more.
So what did you have to sacrifice to build a $100 million company?
I never saw my kids wake wake up. I never saw him go to bed. I work 6 days a week. I took Sundays off to take a nap. My wife over here said that everybody said, did you hire him for Facebook? Because we've never met your husband, because all he does is work. So I think I sacrificed a lot of my children's youth, but now they're teenagers and I'm there every day. So it's cool.
And are you guys married?
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. What's the number one thing that you're the most proud of about your husband?
Everything.
Yeah. Right.
He's an amazing husband. I mean, he's worked harder than everybody that I've ever seen.
Thank you so much, Fred. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
You. Hard Knocks family, we just ran into a $100 million a year entrepreneur out here whose net worth is in between $500 and $700 million. He's in the business of healthcare, but what did he say is one of the most important financial decisions that you can make is keeping all the money back into the business. He didn't have any investors. He didn't go into any debt. So he owns that entire business and he kept the money back into the business because if you have one bad month as a business owner and you blow your cash, it's all gone and you could be done. So great interview out here. Let's go get this next one and keep this video rolling. Come on. All right, you guys, we got somebody pull up on a Ferrari right at the valley right here. We're gonna go up and see what they were able to do to be able to afford this car. Let's go see what they have to say. Excuse me, ma'am.
928-502.
Question for you.
We'll take care of that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Is this your Ferrari?
Yes, it is.
And what do you do for a living out here in Scottsdale to be able to afford a Ferrari?
I'm an entrepreneur.
How long have you been a business owner for?
3 years.
3 years?
Yes.
When I go all over the country just asking business owners their best advice to new entrepreneurs, could I ask you a couple quick questions for the channel?
Sure.
Awesome. So what are you doing right now in entrepreneurship?
I own an online fitness and nutrition company.
And you've been in that business the last 3 years?
3 years,
So
yeah.
what was the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
So the most amount of money that we have done will be this year. We'll do north of 20 million annual reoccurring revenue.
$20 million.
20 million.
How did you?
And that's just the start, by the way, okay? Because
Yeah.
we're going to scale this thing to over 100 million.
That's incredible.
I know we can do it.
Let me first ask you this. How did you scale this company from 7 to 8 figures? A lot of business owners, they have a great idea. They really struggle to scale. You specialize in scaling companies. What took your company from 7 to 8 figures?
First of all, you got to dial in capturing the demand. So marketing and sales is huge. If you don't have somebody overseeing and driving the function of marketing and sales, you don't have a business, right? But then the challenges then that you face as a business owner is not just capturing the demand and then converting it, but fulfilling the service so that the client experience doesn't break. So that requires somebody who has a lot of operational experience to come in and build systems and process.
Now, as a multiple 8-figure entrepreneur, what was the best financial advice that you ever received?
You have to bet on yourself. You can't focus on what you're making now. So there was a time that only made $19,000 a year, right? But here mentally, I was always rich. So it's a mindset. You have to take the money that you're making and continuously reinvest in yourself. And you have to keep doing that all the way through. That's how you're going to earn more money over time. So you're the best bet that you can make. A lot of people value money over valuing themselves. I value myself over money, which is why I'm so rich.
How old are you now?
43.
How old were you when you became a millionaire?
I was actually 40.
40 years old.
So I guess it took me a long time, right? So it's never too late, right? Age is just a number. It's all about how you feel. Overvaluing themselves. I value myself over money, which is why I'm so rich.
How old are you now?
43.
How old were you when you became a millionaire?
I was actually 40.
40 years old.
So I guess it took me a long time, right? So it's never too late.
पिछले साल कुछ इमरजेंसी के कारण मेरे खर्चे ज़्यादा बढ़ गए थे और मेरे लिए मेरे ऑब्लिगेशंस पूरे करना मुश्किल हो गया था। हर रोज मुझे रिकवरी एजेंट्स कॉल कर धमकियां देते।
Right? Age is just a number. It's all about how you feel and that energy that you have inside.
But if you were to go back in time and have a conversation with your 20-year-old self, when you were starting from zero, what's the best advice that you would give to your younger self?
To not give a fuck what anybody thinks about you. You have to believe in yourself. I think when I was younger, I didn't have relentless belief in myself and I wasn't unapologetic about who I was. It took me a long time to be who I am today.
You got amazing advice. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Hard Knocks family, this video has been crazy so far. We're on our way to go get our next interview right now, but I've got a very special announcement to make. A couple weeks ago, we launched our official entrepreneur community, the School of Mentors. We've already hit 1,000 members, and for the people that have joined, they can hop on live calls every single week to learn from, connect with, and get directly mentored by the multi-millionaires and the billionaires that I interview on this channel. They can ask them questions about their career, their life, and their business. So you do not want to miss out on this opportunity because it's once in a lifetime to be able to get this access to the people I interview on this channel every single week. So to join now, click the link down in the description of this video below. We'll see you on the inside, but with that being said, let's go get this next interview. Come on. Excuse me, sir. Question for you.
Sure.
Have you ever owned a business before?
Yes, probably a dozen or two.
Yeah? And what industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
I've been in a bunch of industries, electronics, logistics.
What was your main company?
Nobody you've ever heard of.
Yeah?
Just small business.
So I started a channel at the University of Texas. I started a channel.
You're an Austin boy,
Yes,
huh?
sir. I grew the channel to over 6 million followers. I go all over the country just asking business owners a couple quick questions.
Yep.
Could I get just 1 minute of your time?
I'm trying to get my daughter in a wheelchair.
For sure. How long have you been an entrepreneur for?
40 years.
40 years. And do you come from a lot of money?
No.
What did your parents do?
Small business owner. I worked in my father's business through high school and college, and then he and I started a business in the early 80s out of that.
What company did you start?
It's in the electronics industry. It's a small little distributorship in industrial selling, and that's where I've pretty much been my whole career.
So in terms of revenue, what was the most amount of money that you ever made in a single year?
We did revenue about $250 million in the good years.
$250 million. What's more important, product or distribution?
It's A or B, and neither one actually. Products can be okay. Distribution's just a channel, but it's all about how you implement your plan. There's a lot of great products and a lot of good plans, but you got to implement it right.
How did you scale from an 8 to a 9-figure business?
There's a guy who wrote a book, Collins, I believe his name is, Get the Right People on the Bus, and it starts with the right people, and then it's about the business plan, financing it, and good partners.
What was your relationship with debt as a business owner? Did you have to borrow money from banks to start and grow businesses, or how did
Yes.
you? Yeah?
Yes, but it's because unless you have money, they don't loan you money. So trying to get started, it's one of the biggest problems we have today is banks don't loan money to small businesses. So getting started it's a very hard. I actually fund some stuff with small businesses today, and it's very, very difficult because private equity and strategics have rolled up every industry, and banks only give money to the insiders.
And you sold hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue throughout your career. What was your secret to sales?
The issue in terms of selling is there's some sellers that are, we call them hunters, and there's some sales guys that are farmers. Do you know what those are? You ever heard those phrases?
I haven't heard that before.
So a hunter is somebody who goes to look for new companies, new business. A farmer is somebody who gets more business out of the existing customers. So manage your business, it's a combination of both. You got it? I got to go grab dinner.
I appreciate you. How old are you now?
62.
You look incredible for 62. And real quick, I'm 22. Whose generation works harder, yours or mine?
Well, individuals in your generation do well, but as a whole, one of the problems we have is, good expression for you, it's in the old days, it's always I earn. Today, it's I deserve, not I earn.
So entitlement's a big problem, you see.
Huge problem, which isn't necessarily the kid's problem, it's the parents for providing it. So the whole thing is everybody gets a trophy. I was chairman of a regional board of education I got voted into, and I sat there at the negotiation and I said, okay, teachers, what we want to do is we have a bunch of middle schools. I want to start comparing teachers of English class and well, we don't do that. I said, well, wait a minute. Do you teach your kids that A's are better than B's or better than C's? Yeah, but not for us.
Yeah,
it's part of what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care, guys.
Have a great day, Ken.
Good
Thank you.
luck.
My guy's business did $250 million in electronics, a very niche business. But what did he say was the biggest thing that took him from 8 to 9 figures? He referred a book and talked about getting the right people on the bus. At the end of the day, remember this, guys. People will take you places that money can't. And if you want to go fast, go by yourself. But if you want to go further, go with people together. Phenomenal interview out here in Scottsdale from a $250 million man. Let's get this next one, man. This video has been insane. Come on. Excuse me, sir. Question for you. Have you ever been broke before?
Been broke?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I was in the military for 22 years, man.
Yeah?
Of course I was broke.
And what'd you do after the military?
I started buying and selling businesses, moved overseas.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I ran aviation in Africa, construction in South America.
Wow, so you in like private equity, venture capital, what are you doing right now? Like,
some VC, some private equity, investment banking.
8 out of 10 businesses, they won't make it past 5 years. What's the most common mistake that you see business owners make that prevents
Cash
them?
flow. Cash flow. It's really simple.
What is the secret to managing that cash flow and turning it into real wealth?
Having an 18-month cash flow model and then making sure that you're keeping your head above water.
Yeah.
Revenue's awesome, but you got to have cash flow to keep the doors open.
Yeah. In terms of revenue, though, across all your companies, what was the most amount of money that you ever made in a single year?
11 mil.
$11 million.
Yes.
And how did you scale from 7 to 8 figures? Or what was your secret to scaling businesses?
Focus. Yeah, no life balance. No family, no kids, no girlfriends, just business.
What was the best financial advice that you ever received?
Don't lose it.
Break that down.
Yeah,
How can you...
make good deals, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. Nothing is real until you have a contract. Always have a contract. Always make sure that you're keeping your hands above table. You do everything transparently. You don't do anything illegal, immoral, or unethical.
You've been at the table with some heavy hitters, I'm sure.
Yeah.
What is your best negotiation advice for people out there?
Don't talk past the sale. Once you've got the sale done, don't keep talking.
Keep your mouth shut.
Just keep your mouth shut. Yeah.
But what was your secret to sales and generating millions of dollars in revenue over these years?
I'm not the sales guy.
Yeah.
That's my secret. Is I know my strengths and I know my weaknesses.
So what was your superpower then as a business owner?
Motivation. Yeah, leadership. Yeah, taking my special operations background and being able to apply it to business.
So you were special ops in the military?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
What branch?
Army.
Were you a ranger?
Yeah. Army Green Beret.
That's incredible, sir. How important was that military background in the business?
Invaluable. Yeah, I wouldn't have changed it for anything.
What was the lowest point in your career?
Losing friends.
How did you overcome that? And let's say somebody going through a tough time right now in life. How did you kind of overcome the adversity that you face in your life, in business and the military?
Daily gratitude. Yeah, I've got mantras in the morning that I go through, meditation, just staying positive, man.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
for your
guys.
time, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Remind me your name?
Jeff.
Jeff, how old are you?
Just turned 60.
You're not 60 years old.
Yeah, 23rd of July, I turned 60.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What's the secret to looking like this at 60 years old, man? That's crazy.
Focus, man. Everything's about focus and discipline.
You're 60 today. If you were to go back 40 years ago, what advice would you give to your 20-year-old self to have that same blueprint and roadmap to success?
Stay in the fight.
Stay in the fight.
Stay in the fight, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you, my friend. You got amazing advice.
Be good,
Thank
man.
You, sir.
Y'all
Have
be
a great
good.
day. Thank you. Hard Knocks family, that's a wrap on today's video. Scottsdale was absolutely amazing again, but I want you to like and subscribe for amazing content we've got coming very, very soon. And as I mentioned earlier, our private entrepreneur community hit over 1,000 members because the people that join can connect with, learn directly from, and get mentored by the multimillionaires and the billionaires.
क्या आप वीडियो एडिटिंग सीख के इस तरह की डॉक्यूमेंट्रीज बनाना चाहते हो? और क्या आप न्यू एज एआई और साइकोलॉजी की मदद से ऐसी एंगेजिंग वीडियोस बनाना चाहते हो जिसकी मदद से आप हमारी तरह मिलियंस ऑफ व्यूज जनरेट कर पाओ? अगर हाँ, तो मैं आपके लिए लेके आया हूँ एक जीरो.
Excuse me, sir. Sir.
Yes.
Quick question for you.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been broke before?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
I have.
In what line of business are you in?
I'm in the shoe business.
Are you a business owner? Home to where the largest percentage, the largest capita of billionaires live. So we're going to be walking around trying to go find billionaires, see how they became wealthy, and how you can follow their blueprint and do the exact same thing. Let's go find them and see what they have to say. Come on. Excuse me, sir. Question for you. Have you ever been broke before?
Broke?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No.
But what line of business did you end up in?
I am in the construction business.
Did you own a company?
I own a company.
Yeah, for how long?
35 years.
35 years. I started a channel at the University of Texas. I grew it to 9 million followers, and I go all over the country.
What are you doing?
What's that?
Instagram.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him a couple questions. What were you building?
I build these towers.
Actually, the money that you made in a single year at your business.
The most amount in 1 year?
Yeah.
You really don't want to know that.
How much?
It's a big number.
Give me a number.
30 million.
$30 million. Yeah. That's for yourself?
Yeah.
How about for the business?
Several hundred.
Several hundred million?
Several hundred, yeah.
Like more than 200 million?
What's that?
More than 200 million?
Yes.
Not more than 500.
Huh?
More than 500 million?
In that area.
$500 million. That's incredible. As a multiple 9-figure entrepreneur, what was the best financial advice that you ever received? If you can recall one lesson you learned.
Just stay involved.
What do you mean by that?
Don't delegate too much. Stay involved.
But some people say that if you don't delegate enough, then you work in the business and not on the business.
That's not it. Just stay involved. If you delegate, people respect what you inspect.
Yeah.
Just check it out.
Did you come from a lot of money?
No.
What was the turning point to financial freedom? What did you see that made you want to stand out?
I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I have a real estate business. I have a manufacturing business. I have a construction business.
Yeah. So you diversified.
Yeah.
A lot of people say just focus on one thing though.
No, never.
Why not?
Never. Maybe one wife. That's about it.
One wife. That's
one
about
wife,
it.
yeah.
Were you a good salesman?
Yeah, I was a great salesman.
What was your secret to selling?
I know how to close a deal.
What's the secret to closing?
I know what deal not to do. I know who not to talk to.
And that, would you say that's just as important as...
It's all instinct. Before you sit down, make sure you know who you're debating against. Because there's better guys. Why risk it?
Yeah.
Don't take high-risk bets. You want to take high-risk bets, go to Vegas, you know?
See you later. Have a great day, guys. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
You guys, we just interviewed a construction mogul out here in New York City. He's done multiple hundreds of millions of dollars in a single year. That was a beautiful interview right there. My favorite part, my best takeaway from that interview was when we talked about sales. He says, I know exactly what deals not to do. A lot of people, they get greedy, they get desperate, and they go into the wrong deals and the wrong business. Great interview out here in New York City. We got to keep it rolling and go get another one. Come on. Excuse me, sir. Sir.
Yes.
Quick question for you.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been broke before?
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
I have.
In what line of business are you in?
I'm in the shoe business.
Are you a business owner?
I am.
What's the name of your company?
Steve Madden.
Steve Madden?
Steve Madden.
Are you Steve Madden?
I am.
Actually,
Yeah.
real quick, I started a channel in Austin, Texas. I
Yeah.
grew it to 9 million followers. I go all over the country just asking business owners their best
Yeah.
advice to new entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
But I get one quick minute with you real quick.
What would you like to know?
So how long have you been a business owner for?
34 years.
34. Over
Yeah.
these 34 years, in terms of revenue, what was the most amount of money that you've made in a single year?
Our company, I think it does a little about $2.5 billion in sales.
$2.5 billion.
I don't even follow.
Let me ask you this though, as somebody who's running one of the
Yeah.
biggest shoe companies in the world,
Yeah.
what's your best advice to anybody trying to build their business into a $1 billion company like Steve
Oh
Madden?
my God! Get a lot of help, raise a lot of money.
Yeah.
Got to trust your partners.
Yeah.
I guess, but if you make something people want, you'll be okay.
Did you have a lot of money when you started this business?
I started with $1,100.
How important was focus for you in one industry?
You know, I started working in a shoe store when I was 16. So I've kind of been, that's sort of been my thing.
But what's more important, product or distribution?
Product is everything.
Why is that?
Because without that, it doesn't matter. All the distribution in the world doesn't matter.
What was the lowest point in your career as an entrepreneur?
I did some time in prison. That was pretty bad. And I've had a very good run. I've been very fortunate. Knowing what you don't know is such a gift. And then you're able to get help, you know? So that's sort of the secret. Well, it's not a secret anymore.
I really appreciate that.
Okay,
Thank you,
good.
sir. Guys, we just ran into an interviewed billionaire, Steve Madden, and we're headed to go get our next interview right now. But I don't think you guys realize, guys, he's built one of the biggest brands in the entire world. And one of the things that comes up time and time again when I interview the most successful entrepreneurs is the importance of building your brand in all aspects. But in today's world, especially your online presence. One of the most important components of this is securing a strong domain name for your business. But let's be real, guys, finding a good .com domain these days is nearly impossible. That's why I recommend using a .online domain. Unlike .com, .online is searched 500 million times a month globally. You're instantly tapping into a massive audience. And here's the thing, guys. Right now, there's a special offer where you can get your .online domain for just 99 cents for the first year. And if you're serious about taking your business to the next level, securing the right domain is everything. So use code SOHK to get your .online domain for just 99 cents for the first year by heading over to www.get.com. Go get this next interview. Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Question for you.
What's up?
Real quick. Have you ever been broke before?
Yeah, I've been broke many times.
And what line of business did you end up in?
I worked in real estate. I was in construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
Have you
types
ever
of
been a
stuff.
business owner?
नमस्कार अगर आप एक बिजनेस चलाते हो then give me your 3 hours and I will change your business and life forever. Hi, my name is Dr. Amit Parekh and I know what I said is a very
I am a business owner.
What type of company?
I'm an independent contractor and I own an electronics business.
Actually.
Yeah. Actually, right.
I started a channel in Austin. We grew it to 9 million followers. I interview business owners all over the country
Really?
on their best advice to new entrepreneurs.
Wow,
Could I get one quick minute with you real quick?
Yeah, you can get a minute, yeah.
So you've owned a bunch of different businesses.
Sure have.
Let me ask you this. Across all these companies, in 1 year, in terms of revenue, what was the most amount of money that you've made in a single year?
When I was in construction scrap iron, we were barging scrap steel in New Jersey, and we had a barge and a shredder, and it was quite an operation. We yearly, probably 12 to 15 mil.
12 to 15 million. And how did you,
Million.
Million. That's
Yeah.
incredible. Best financial decision you ever made?
Probably to buy a 2-story apartment and refurbish it and rent it, and let it pay the mortgage and leverage it for credit.
So you created a lot of wealth through real estate.
Sure have. Real estate's a good deal, man.
Thank you,
Can't
my
miss
friend.
with real estate.
Appreciate it.
Energy's good too.
Wait, why energy?
It's a long
Yeah.
story. We're done.
No,
I gotta get into
I promise you this will be so worth it. Did you go to college?
I went to college, but college was not where I got my information. It was from mentorship and being in a family business in the trenches with people that were doing it and watching them work and staying by their side.
What's one lesson about business you give to somebody they will not learn in school? Any college. Let's say he doesn't want to go.
You have to have a PhD in communication. You have to be able to articulate and be able to communicate effectively. Communication. You don't get that from a scholastic education. You get that with dealing with real people in real time and going through difficult situations and learning how to make those adjustments. And that's a lot of that is the prerequisite of that is working in places that you hate and the person you're working under treats you like shit, but you're not reactionary, you're taking lessons away without letting your ego say, wow, it's talking to me a certain way. Just do your job and I promise you, you're gonna start to ratchet up the hierarchy. Your skill set and the people that are treating you bad will start to respect you and respect your work ethic. You can't react and be emotional. The best thing I can tell you, your viewers, is don't be emotional. Don't feed your emotions.
You got amazing
So
advice,
where do we
man.
find you guys?
The School of Hard Knocks on all platforms. Yeah, we got a
Yeah,
channel.
you think we could see some of that? You guys gonna post
it's
something?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
The School of Hard Knocks,
Yeah.
boy, you're gonna be famous,
Yeah.
man.
So at first I thought my guy wanted to square up and fight me, but he ends up giving an amazing interview. Guy made $12 to $15 million in a single year and just dropped some serious sauce for you guys. The two biggest things came towards the end of that interview when he said, the secret to becoming successful is learning how to communicate and never showing emotion in business. Great interview out here in New York City. This video keeps getting better and better. Let's go get this next one out here. Come on. Excuse me, sir. Question for you. Real quick, I started a channel in Austin, Texas. I grew it to 9 million followers. I go all over the country asking business owners their best advice to new entrepreneurs. Could I get 1 quick minute with you?
What do you want to know?
What line of business were you in?
Real estate.
Real estate.
Finance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some other things too.
Are you a business owner?
Yes, I am.
How long have you been an entrepreneur for?
Myself, well, it's been in my family since 1945.
Yeah.
My grandfather bought it, and then I got into some other things. I don't want to say how long I've been in other things, but
what's your main business?
It's real estate and finance.
Commercial
I'm
or
a trader, an options trader, New York Stock Exchange.
Actually,
yeah.
Let me ask you this: what was the best financial advice that you ever received throughout your career? If there's a lesson about money a mentor taught you that always stuck with you, what's that advice you'd give to people that may not have?
Well, I'm a home gamer. Okay, so I worked out in my own apartment. Okay, and I traded through a big company. Best investment I ever made, best trades I ever made was a couple of years back, Amazon. That was my cash cow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Did you make a lot of money off of Amazon?
I did.
Yeah. You are a trader though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What separates the top 1% of traders in today's world? What do you see that makes the most traders successful?
Determination.
Yeah.
Everyone makes mistakes, me included. I made mistakes where I got margin calls. Talk about losing sleep. You know, it's like the mafia coming after you. You owe us this amount. Yeah. You know, fortunately, I was able to cover it.
Yeah.
Some Robin Hood. Remember Robin Hood? You know Robin Hood? Remember when the kid, 27, I think he was 20 years old, he committed suicide because I knew exactly how he was trading.
Yeah.
And I know why he screwed up.
Right.
And he was not emotionally prepared for the consequences when he got that margin call. So I had my share and I thought, wow. So it either makes you a better trader, you learn from your mistakes, if you don't, it's your own fault. And then there were times where I thought about giving up, but I just kept going. And finally it paid off. And one day, the biggest thrill of my life was I got invited to the New York Stock Exchange for breakfast. I was like, whoa, me? And then it was like about 30 of us through a certain company that we trade through. I'm not going to say the name. And it was like the biggest thrill of my life. And I knew at that point that I must be doing something right. You know, I'm 70 years old, so I have backed down now a little bit, but I still do some.
Have you ever been broke before?
No, never been broke.
Never been broke?
Never been broke.
What's one lesson about money that banks don't want people to know?
Well, they would like to take your money and invest it for you. You know, I don't go through banks. I do it myself.
You do it yourself?
Yeah. The banks are good for people who want, like 5%, 6%. I was making, a lot more than that. I'm not going to say how much. I was making a lot more.
Give me a range. How much?
I'm not.
Yeah?
No. But it's, look, I live in Manhattan, Sutton Place, and all through my trading. I have a year and a half of college, that's it.
Yeah.
But the key is determination. You never give up. Right. One day you fall on your face, you get back up and you do it all over again.
Let me ask you this. I'm 22.
Yeah.
You're 70.
Yeah.
Whose generation works harder, yours or mine?
Well, look, you want to know about my life. My grandfather was a coal miner when he came from this country, from Italy. Nobody worked like he did. He lost body parts on the job. My mother was born in coal mining country. So when they came to Brooklyn in the 1930s, my grandfather then worked on the infrastructure of the city, the bridges and tunnels. He was the toughest guy I know. No one, as far as I'm concerned, they went through the Great Depression, nothing. You either worked or you starved. There was no aid to help you out or whatever. It was a completely different world. Here's the difference between myself and your generation. When I was 22 years old, the stock market was for people who knew someone that had a friend that worked for a company or a bank, and that's how you got into it, slowly but surely. But today, with the internet, it changed everything. At least it did for me. I started trading on the internet back in the late 90s. Little by little, and all of a sudden it just snowballed. That's why I tell all young guys, get in it now. We're not $100 here, $100 there. You'd be surprised what that's going to happen like 30, 40 years from now.
Yeah. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time, sir. This video was amazing, you guys. I cannot believe some of the people we ran into out here. But I need you guys to like and subscribe for amazing content we've got coming very soon. And if you're not a member yet, you need to join my private entrepreneur community. Because guys, mentorship is the only secret and shortcut to success in today's world. If you guys want to hop on live calls and ask your questions directly to the millionaires and the billionaires that I interview about how you can start building generational wealth, how to scale that business or get out of that 9-to-5 and start and grow that business, or learn the fundamental skills like sales, negotiations, marketing, everything, you need to be a member of my community. To join, go to the link down in the description of this video. I can't wait to see you on the inside of the School of Mentors, my school community. And with that being said, we'll see you in the next video.
You've got the business idea. Now give it an address. GoDaddy has the domains to make it happen.
Excuse me, sir. Quick question for you. Have you ever been broke before?
I went broke because the state of Texas, who I had a contract with, refused to pay me and stole $30 million of my money. Would never do business with the state of Texas again.
What was the most amount of money that you made in a single year?
On a $6 million investment, I made like $40 million.
$600 million.
And what happened that year that you did 600
Sold a
million?
business.
You sold a business. How much did you sell the company for?
$600 million.
I'm 67, but good.
I'm 22 though. You got 45 years on me. Whose generation works harder, yours or mine?
Mine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why is that?
No question about it.
Do you think you worked harder than me when you were my age?
Oh, hell yeah.
What's one lesson about business that you give to somebody that they will not learn in school? Hard Knocks family, we are at the Millionaires Playground in Las Vegas. And since Las Vegas is home to 60,000 millionaires and over 10 billionaires, we're going to be going all over the city to the wealthiest casinos, hotels, and restaurants to figure out how the people here created their wealth and how you can start your path to becoming financially free in today's world. So with that being said, let's get this video on the way. Hard Knocks family, we just got to our first destination out here in Las Vegas, and we're at the Bellagio, one of the most expensive hotels for people to stay out here in Vegas. So we're gonna go up to the valet, see if we can talk to some of these millionaires, figure out what they did to become wealthy in today's world. So come with us and let's go see what they have to say. Let's go. Excuse me, sir, question for you. Have you ever been broke before?
What?
Have you ever been broke before?
Broke?
Yeah.
No, man. Let me show you a picture of my car.
Yeah, that's a Lamborghini. Wait, real quick. What line of business are you in? Excuse me, sir. Question for you. Have you ever been broke before?
Yeah.
Yeah? Could I interview you real quick?
What's this for?
I started the channel on Austin. I grew it to 8 million followers. I interview business owners. I guess what line of business are you in?
Real estate.
What type of real estate?
Shopping centers. I bought 2 in Las Vegas.
Said you bought 2 of them in Las Vegas?
Yeah, just bought them.
How long have you been buying real estate for?
35 years.
There's a big misconception that you have to have a ton of money to start creating wealth in real estate.
No.
No?
No.
So how do you get the money to buy assets like,
Start small.
With what?
I started buying houses, and I just kept building it up.
Yeah?
Yeah, now I just bought one on East Flamingo, paid $25 million. Now I'm buying one on the north side for about 20.
What was the most amount of money that you made in a single year?
Not 1 year, but one deal. On a $6 million investment, I made like $40 million.
$40 million?
On a $6 million investment.
As a millionaire, what's the best financial advice that you ever received throughout your career? If there's a lesson about money,
tough one.
If one lesson about money a mentor taught you that always stuck with you.
I don't know. Lesson: just be cautious. Be cautious, because when someone's selling something, they're getting rid of a problem, and you have to find out what the problem is. And then you have to create a strategy of how to exit that. When you buy it, how to make money and get out. Every single deal they're selling, remember, they're selling their problem to you.
Wow. Yeah. But what is the lesson about money that banks don't want people to know?
You never tell the bank everything. When the banks ask me for my, financial statement, I always leave shit out, because They just want to know everything, gobble it all up if there's a problem. You just tell them what they want to hear.
And how old are you now?
I'm old. I'm 67, but I'm, good.
I'm 22 though, so you got 40. You got 45 years on
My
me.
kids are 10 years old right now.
Let me ask you this: you got 45 years on me. Whose generation works harder, yours or mine?
Mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Kids are on the computers. They want to do quick things. It takes time. Got to work hard, stay focused. These kids, you're 22 years old. You want.
Do you think you worked harder than me when you were my age?
Hell yeah.
I disagree though, man. I work a lot. I work a lot.
When I was 22 years old, I had 2 jewelry stores. I was hustling on the street, selling jewelry, wholesaling, retailing, traveling, going to Italy to buy this shit, coming back. And we did it on a shoestring.
You got amazing advice, sir. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate that. Guys, we just interviewed a real estate mogul who owns hundreds of millions of dollars worth of real estate. And he's had that hustle mentality in him ever since he was a young guy, going around the world selling jewelry. That work ethic never left him. But my biggest takeaway from that interview is that he's playing in a completely different game than everybody else. See, there's a big misconception in real estate that the bigger the deal, the harder it is to do. But in reality, it's the complete opposite. The bigger the deal, the easier it is to do. The people involved are smarter, the financing's easier, and you can make a hell of a lot more money. Great interview out here in Las Vegas, you guys. We're gonna keep this video rolling and go get this next one. Come on. Excuse me, sir. Quick question for you. Have you ever been broke before?
Yeah, hell yeah. Every hustler's been broke. It's how you respond.
And what line of business are you in?
I'm in apparel.
Are you a business owner?
Absolutely. I do manufacturing as well as I have a clothing line.
And how long have you been an entrepreneur for?
10 years. We're going on 10 years now.
सर से अनुरोध मैं अब सर से अनुरोध अब सर से अनुरोध मैं 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 हम 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 सर से अनुरोध अब सर से अनुरोध मैं 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 अब सर से अनुरोध have sir several. I have sir several. I have sir several. I have sir several.